The guy in my head. I was banned from the marriage subreddit because people kept reporting this as AI. This is my personal story and not sure why people think it's fake. I was trying to share a positive in a world full of negative. The guy in my head when I was a little girl. I imagined the man I wanted to marry. At first, he had qualities my dad had. Things like how he treated my mom, how he treated my brother, his work ethic, the way he loved his family. But as I got older, the guy in my head, as I called him, began to grow. He picked up more and more traits. He rode motorcycles. He had tattoos, brown hair, always wore a baseball hat. He wasn't a coward, could hold his own in a situation. He was a guy's guy, a man who could do it all. A bad boy but a good man at the same time. I wasn't even sure that kind of man existed. When I got married the first time, the guy in my head didn't disappear. He evolved. He became everything my ex could never be. He still didn't have a clear face or a name, but he was always there, almost like he was waiting to be found. He had a family and I adored, and they adored me. He was mysterious, a little intense, knew how to stand his ground, protective, the kind of man who would make me feel safe and deeply loved, but would go to war for the few people he cared about. He had a dark side that was intoxicating, but underneath it, he was kind, loyal, and caring. He drove a truck. He was strong. He was ridiculously good-looking. He made me laugh. My parents and brother loved him. He was everything. As the years went by, I would sometimes see men and try to place their faces onto the guy in my head, just to see if they fit. They never did. Not once. I would read books and watch movies about true love and wanted that kind of connection more than anything. I knew I was capable of feeling it. I just started to wonder if I ever would. Over time, the guy in my head collected more and more traits, honestly, probably over 100. I had always been drawn to bad boys, but that had never worked out, because I had never met a good bad boy. Eventually, I thought about him less, not because I stopped believing completely, but because that belief was fading. I would see happy couples and feel this quiet sadness. I was longing for something I didn't know how to find. I would look at my husband at the time and silently cry for a life I never wanted with someone I didn't truly love. I got pregnant. I felt trapped. I made plans to leave so many times, but I didn't follow through. My son needed me. He had autism, and he needed everything I had to give. So I gave it, all of it. He became my life, my reason. And slowly, I convinced myself the guy in my head wasn't real. Just a fantasy I had made up, something that would never exist. That was the saddest time of my life. Then came 2014. I was sitting at a red light in Salem, Oregon, when a black 5th-gen Camaro pulled up next to me. I had seen Camaros 1,000 times before, never cared, but in that moment, something hit me, and I still can't fully explain it. It was strong, powerful, beautiful. All I knew was this: I needed that car. It made absolutely no sense. I was driving an SUV. I had dogs. A 10-year-old. A Camaro was the most impractical choice I could have made, but I didn't care. The next day, I had financed a stunning red SS V8 Camaro. My husband at the time hated it. Didn't help. Gave me crap for it. I didn't care. I loved that car. It became my second baby. I joined Camaro Facebook groups, started customizing it, and bought a Hot Wheels emblem for my son. After about a year, I couldn't decide where to put it, so I posted a picture asking for suggestions. Dozens of comments came in, but one stood out for all the wrong reasons. Someone suggested putting it on the hood, like the old-school Camaros. I thought it was a terrible idea. I laughed it off and moved on. That night, the guy who made that comment messaged me. He complimented my tattoos. We started talking, then texting, then he called. We talked for hours. His name was Corey. After that it was like I knew him my entire life. Everything came natural. We had some major obstacles to overcome though. I lived in Oregon, was separated and going through a divorce with my then husband, and Corey lived in Alabama and had just started the divorce process with his then wife. Fast forward to 2015. To recap the last few months, my son and I moved from Oregon to Alabama and had gotten a place with Corey. I knew in my heart this was it. If I ever wanted to be truly happy, I had to jump in with both feet. All or nothing. So I did. I always say my motto is no regrets. I couldn't be a hypocrite now, could I? I was sitting in my Camaro outside Corey's work in Alabama. My son wanted to ride home in Corey's work truck, so I watched them pull out of the parking lot together. And in that moment it hit me. Corey was him, the guy in my head. clearer than anything I had ever known in my life. I lost it completely. I cried the entire drive home, barely able to see the road. When I got there, Corey looked at me, confused, asking what was wrong. And that's when I told him about the guy in my head, about how I had finally found him. I was 34 years old, and I had just met the man I had been dreaming about my entire life. I'm sharing this because it's never too late to be happy, never too late to find real love. I came from a marriage that was never what I wanted. I was lonely. I wasn't in love. I was close to giving up on the idea of true happiness completely. That kind of hopelessness is heavy. I would cry at night thinking about my future. I tried to convince myself I was okay. I filled my days with my son, because that's where my joy was. My family helped fill the gaps in my heart, but it wasn't the full picture. When I met Corey, it felt like the strongest magnet in the universe. I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't fight it. I couldn't explain it, so I didn't. I followed it. I let something bigger than me guide me and trusted deep down that this was where I was meant to go, that he was my future. Now here I am, almost 11 years later, and I feel exactly the same. I still get butterflies when I look at him. I still smile when I think of him. He is, without question, the man I was always meant to find. A true, to the core, good bad boy. And my life would never have been complete without him. I don't believe in coincidence. There were too many things, too many moments that lined up in both of our lives for this to be random. I believe in fate. I believe in the universe trying to make things right. And I've never liked the word content. It feels empty, settling, like you're living half a life. I always knew I needed more than that. So if you're out there feeling content, don't stay there. Live your life the way you would if you could write it yourself. Don't settle. Don't ignore that pull when something feels right, even if it makes no sense. Follow it. It might be scary. It might be messy. It might not look logical at all. But when you get there, you'll know your life will finally make sense in a way it never has before.